in America. That says something. We have more black men locked up, parole, probation, than they had black men as slaves at the height of slavery. So when we look at these numbers, we ask, have we really progressed? Or have we, as Malcolm say, been bamboozled, been led astray, been run amok? Because we're looking at a situation here that if we do not come together as men, especially men, because black men united is the most scariest thing in America than anything else. It's been that way since they brought us here on the slave ships, and it will continue to be that way. When we're united, we are definitely a threat to the power system. And that's why one thing we're doing as blackwestchester.com and Blacks in Law Enforcement of America, we're supporting the 20th anniversary of the Million Man March that will be in Washington, D.C. this October 10th. Because we feel 20 years ago, when many of us went down there, it showed the world that we can come together. We can go back to our communities, and the Urban League and all the different churches and all the organizations, black male membership was on the rise after the Million Man March. Even young black kids being adopted, the numbers rose after the Million Man March. Mentorship organization, all the numbers rose after the Million Man March. But then what happened? Came out gangster rap right after that. And the conscious rap, the Public Enemies and the conscious music, they stopped playing. So we gotta we gotta continue to look at what they're doing. Look at this. You have the young white lady that was passing as black all her life, and she was the president of the NAACP. I ain't mad at it. NAACP was created by white folks, so if a white person is the president, so what? But you had black people as outraged, but there were no black folks. There's no black folks outraged at Eminem. Huh? Eminem hijacked our culture. Became a millionaire. He talked about killing his mother, his baby mama, he talked about all that stuff. But nobody's talking about Eminem. So is it only good for white folks to imitate black people in buffoonery? But when you have a white lady that is on the front line, as the president of the NAACP, you see pictures of her marching and fighting for the issues that the NAACP fight for. We got a problem with that? I ain't got no problem with that, because I have a hard time getting black people out marching. So if a white woman want to march, come on. So, you know, we gotta watch how the media is messing this up here. See, that's why we created blackwestchester.com, because we got tired of seeing the Journal News and News 12. The only time they want to come in the black communities is when there's a shooting. You know, or when they got issues with Mayor Davis. That's the only time you see black folks on News 12. You know, they was doing something for the seniors in Mount Vernon, and my wife called and she said, you know, you need to come out here. They doing something great for the seniors. We don't have time to send a van. But then you look at the same day, they got some white kids making a snowman. Like, that's important news. So we created Black Westchester because we call it the news with the black point of view. Because we need to tell our story. Our story is not being told in Westchester County. And we need to change the dialogue in what's happening and create people to start talking. And we're coming on our year anniversary of the website. And we've seen how, now we've seen how even low HUD are starting to address articles. And we see now that News 12 will quote us on different incidents.
FiOS too.
Even FiOS will quote us. Because we're changing the dialogue. We're letting them know that we're going to tell our story regardless. We don't get the millions of dollars that News 12 get, or we don't get the millions of dollars that Journal News get, but we have been effective this last year to tell black people's story in Westchester County. Because there are stories in Westchester County that need to be told. From our point of view. Because they don't tell our story correctly. They use it for their own benefit. One thing that we have been supportive of BlackWestchester.com is an initiative which was started by Bob Law, a legendary radio host, and was it 3 weeks ago. It's been supported by Calvin Butts and a lot of other pastors in Harlem, Queens, and Brooklyn, and it's called No Justice, No Profit. Now, it's not just no justice, meaning no justice in the criminal justice system, but no justice as far as social issues, economic development, education. And what we're asking people to do something very simple. Simple to some, maybe hard to others. It's just don't buy fast food. Tell Mickey D's that we're not giving you your money anymore. Tell Burger King that even though his new Whoppers are nice, but we just not gonna eat the Whoppers no more. Hold our money. Hold our money. Start cooking breakfast in your house. We also found that a lot of seniors, they eat at McDonald's for breakfast. So what Calvin Butts is saying is that the pastors begin to cook breakfast in their church for the seniors. And let them get a real good meal instead of eating that pasteurized sausages and stuff that they cooking in here. Because it's not good for you anyway. I mean, anytime you could get a burger, fries, and a soda for $3, you got to question what's being made in it. You got to question that. But we hold our money. Why do we hold our money? Because that's what capitalism is. You live in a world that's run by capitalism. Remember, the Supreme Court said corporations are people too. Corporations are people too. And we could all put our bank accounts in the middle of this room and we still won't have as much money as one of those corporations. That's one of them. So now, instead of individually, let's look at the $1.5 trillion that we spend every year as consumers. Young brothers down at the Justice League, New York City, is saying, don't even buy Nike. Because Nike decided, they said, well, too many officers, now black officers, have been killed. We're gonna give them 30% off. But who buys Nike?
Black kids.
Who buys Nike?
Black kids that's being killed.
Black kids getting killed over Nikes. Last time I remember. They ain't decided to give them, the black community, 30% off. So the New York Justice League said, don't even buy Nike. Because Nike doesn't even respect where their money coming from. And all this is documented. You can Google it all up. It's all there. But it shows that black lives don't matter. It shows that black lives don't matter. And we, as a community, must come together so black lives can matter. So young people can look at us as men and adults and have respect. How can you, as a young person, how can you have respect when you look at your community and then you go over to another community? Matter of fact, you just gotta go to another community to buy some sneakers or to eat. So how can you expect kids to have respect for us when we're not building the institutions for them to grow? Because if not, they're gonna end up being with me, and then what? I make some money, I make $150,000 a year, buy me a Benz, and buy me a nice house, and you know, I got some nice watches and some jewelry, you know, all from housing my people. But nothing's changing. And then I move out the community, I don't look back, go up with the white people and dance club football all with the white kids and all that. Don't even come back down to my community and do no basketball or anything. That's what we do as black folks. That's what we do. And I'm saying we, because we all did it one time in our life. And some of us still do it. But we got to change that mentality. Tom? Oh. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, in closing, I want to thank everybody, but I hope that as men, we could come together, we could do programs in Westchester, definitely in Westchester, because there's a national issue, but the local issue, we really have to address our issues. We really have to register young people to vote. And we really have to hold our elected officials accountable. Because they only get up because they represent us. Unless we will just see the rest of our kids come to the county jails for another 25 years, and I hope not. And I hope we can change our condition and come together and work with a lot of programs that's going on nationally and locally. And I thank you. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.